Yo, what up, everybody? I mean, it's been a while. Yeah, a long while. You're probably wondering what you're doing here. Well, 3-count reviews, baby. Raw versus Smackdown. Let's go. Alright, so I know it's been a while, but I'm back. Here we go. Next episode of 3-count reviews. So this week I wanted to talk about Raw versus Smackdown. Now, we're in 2018. The year is, well underway, even though the year is still kind of new. And this past week, ever since, Royal Rumble, you've seen an update in Raw, especially in content, in their graphics, and now we're actually seeing updates in the quality of matches. We're starting to see, meaningful matches coming back. We're starting to see actual storylines with quality and life in them and whatnot, and they're starting to build. Now, my hope is that this isn't just some sort of trend that's going on until WrestleMania, because as we all know, WrestleMania is coming up in less than 2 months. And pretty much, I just feel that all of these positive changes, I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like this happened a year ago or 2 years ago. It was either after WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or even the Superstar Draft, with Raw and SmackDown, that we saw that they had new ideas coming out. They had, they were trying new things, and then all of a sudden it just went back to the same old. I feel like, ever since, Seth Rollins broke up the Shield and he had his old storyline, he was going up against Roman, he was going up against Dean, he's going up against, the rest of the roster, he was part of the Authority and all of that. With all of that going on, I felt like there was a lot of great content coming out. I feel like there was a lot of things to want to be, antsy for, things to want to anticipate and speculate for, for the next time. And unfortunately, ever since then, I just feel that, the quality has gone down. The booking has been mediocre. I support WRESTLETALK. Shout out to WRESTLETALK. I love those guys. Ollie and Luke. They're just amazing people. Super funny, well entertaining. But they come up with great points and great facts day in and day out. And one of those things that has been is the WWE booking has been very mediocre. And I agree with that. If you haven't checked them out, support WRESTLETALK. I support them. They're one of the reasons why I'm on here doing this right now. I just felt like for a long time things could have just gotten better. And then 2018 hit. We're starting to hear all these speculations, that Vince McMahon might be stepping down a little bit, and giving more authority, no pun intended, to Triple H behind the scenes and whatnot, which I think is great. He's already taken over 205 Live. We've already seen a great change in that show. I don't know about you. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about 205 Live. I don't know about you. I wasn't really watching 205 Live. I was watching Cruiserweight Classic. The Cruiserweight Classic was, excuse my language, it was the shit. The way their format went, the way the matches went, the arena setting, the way that it was grounded like an NXT setting, it just gave it so much more life. And I just wish that's something that they would go back to, But now with Triple H taking over the show as the showrunner, it makes me want to watch the show again. Not because it's just Triple H, but if Triple H is running it, that he sees things the way the current generation is seeing them. He sees the current wrestling industry the way it's evolved and changed. He sees how big of an impact New Japan has now. ROH, Lucha Underground, all of these indie scenes. It's not like he wasn't aware of it before. They helped create this industry, solidify it to be what it is today. So all I'm saying is that with Triple H taking over now, it's just good things happening. Now it makes me want to watch 205 Live, which is weird. At first I watched it and I didn't want to. Now I do. I feel conflicted. Anywho, I'm just rambling on. The whole point of this video is to go over Raw and SmackDown and see which one took the cake this week. Now, I enjoyed Raw a lot. It had a lot of good, high-paced matches, more matches that meant something, storylines that actually felt like they had more continuity and substance in them, and it was just all around, a really good show. Hands down, my highlight of the night probably had to be either Braun Strowman and Elias. That double bass, that Braun Strowman, that whole entire act was just absolutely comedy. I thought it was funny. I know some fans probably didn't like it. They're like, it's not a monster anymore. But I mean, why can't we have a little fun? Why can't monsters be funny too? And I thought this was perfect. I thought it was brilliant. And then with Braun bringing the double base down, taking care of Elias, and then smashing it over him. I mean, yeah, we've seen a lot of things recycled in the WWE. I mean, we've seen a lot of things recycled in the WWE, but this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Probably my main highlight of the night would have been, the main event, with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor taking the win at the same time. Do I feel like they both deserve to be in the Elimination Chamber? I do. Do I feel like WWE's booking has kind of put them in this position where they don't have a choice? Yes and no. One of the major reasons that Seth Rollins is in this position, if you don't know, is literally because of Jason Jordan. It's not a storyline thing. He is literally injured. Dean Ambrose is literally injured. These aren't just scripted things. These are actual things that are happening. And because these are actual things that are happening, and let us not forget that I believe it was that meningitis scare, or that health scare that was going around that took out Roman Reigns for a couple of weeks, took out Bray Wyatt. Bo Dallas wasn't there for a few weeks. These are I don't want to say serious times, because there's more serious things going on in the world, I'm sure, as we all know. But these are some times where in the business of things, serious things are happening, things that we can't control. So I just feel that because of poor booking, yes, poor script writing, yes, but also because of unforeseen, unfortunate events that took out superstars, things that we couldn't control, is why things have ended up the way they have, as we know right now today. So for Seth Rollins and Finn Balor to both be added to the Elimination Chamber, I think it's right. Finn Balor is so over. Don't listen to what Vince McMahon says. Seth Rollins has always been over. I'm a huge fan of his, huge fan of Finn's. So to have them both added to the Elimination Chamber, I'm excited about it. I'm not against it. I think it's cool. But all in all, yeah, I think that was probably the high point of the night. That ending nobody really expected. It kind of did end abruptly out of nowhere, out of a super, a superplex double power bomb. That was the way it ended. But all in all, I had a lot of fun with it. With this week's Raw, I had a lot of fun. I was really happy with the show. It kept my attention. I was entertained. And yeah, now I want to talk about Smackdown Live. This week's show was really, really good as well. Now, you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens that came in and just disrupted everything. There was no Shane or Daniel Bryan speaking on the mic. It was just them. And what were they doing? They were beating up Baron Corbin. Usually, I would not care about Baron Corbin getting beat up. But in this instance, because it's Kevin and Sami, and Baron is supposed to meet Dolph Ziggler in the ring for a qualifying match for the WWE title to be able to be a part of that opportunity, it kind of made me care about him a little bit, which I'll get into in a second. And then, we went from there. We had some promos. We had some good matches. We had the promo for the U.S. title with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. So good. Jinder... I agree with Ollie and Luke from WrestleTalk. Jinder in this role, I really, really like. I can understand why WWE put him in a role to want to propel the company into a direction where, he could do a lot for the people of India, for his people and whatnot, to expand the business out there, the company out there, the fan base. I get all that. I'm fully behind all of that. But the build for him to do so, to be that part, was just very lackluster, I guess you could say, and just not enough quality and substance behind it for him to be that important to be able to do that. Instead, it just made the whole WWE universe, for the exception of India, just outrightly hate him in that position. And that is not the kind of effect you want. It's one thing to hate a heel, to boo a heel. It's another thing to legitimately hate someone because they were put in a position that was out of their control. Not saying Jinder didn't want to be a part of it, but it wasn't his decision to be that character, to be that important. It was WWE's. So you can't hold it against Jinder for doing that. He's doing with what he's given. You got to blame the writing staff, the booking staff for that. That's their fault. In my opinion, at least. Anyway, moving on. I thought this spot was great. I love Bobby Roode. I kind of wish he was the heel Bobby Roode from NXT. I feel like that's what they're going to be heading towards. I just feel like they need to get over this hump right now to set up future things. But I enjoyed it quite a lot. And then we had the two matches, you know, with Baron and Dolph. Baron Corbin took on Kevin Owens. Dolph took on Sami Zayn. Baron won. Dolph won. I did not expect that at all, whatsoever. I didn't expect it. You know, Dolph has been in this position where, you know, the company's just kind of booking him and he's just kind of doing whatever they're telling him to do, and then he just gets to go home. I mean, that's his new agreement from what I hear right now. But, you know, it was one of those matches where, you know, Dolph is an amazing performer. He's an amazing seller. Oh my God, he's amazing in the ring. But lately, it's just like, you know, for the exception of the U.S. title, which I felt like was for, you know, character purposes, for what his character was doing, you know, with the whole, you know, record scratch and not music thing. I felt like, you know, I just felt like this was going to be another match that Dolph was just going to lose. Like, oh, we're going to build this opportunity, but we'll just have Dolph fill it. He'll just put in some time, and then he just gets to go home. No, he won the freaking match. And furthermore, in Baron Corbin's match that he won, it was really interesting to see that towards the later half of that match, the crowd actually started to get behind Corbin. Like, Corbin was starting to become face. I mean, I heard that there were, you know, like, I could kind of hear that there were other chants, you know, like there was a Rusev Day chant going on and whatnot. I mean, that's fine, but let's not discredit the fact that there was a Corbin chant going on. There was a legitimate Corbin chant going on, unless I'm hearing things. This is what I heard. And that makes me happy because Baron Corbin is good at being a heel, but I feel like he deserves more respect and credibility than what he's been given, because he works his ass off in the WWE. And I'm really proud of this man. I feel like, you know, he's really honed in who he is to his character. I feel like, yeah, he's made mistakes, but he's owned up to them, and he's just doing his thing. And in that match, he did his thing, and it made me want to cheer for Baron Corbin. It really did. So I was happy with it. You know, I was happy with how Sami and Kevin portrayed their characters. I felt like it built up Dolph and Baron so much more. Now they have an opportunity for the WWE title. It's insane. Yeah, so that was, you know, pretty much my quick rundown of Raw and SmackDown. For this week, if I had to choose the winner, because, you know, as I did the first time a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to start comparing the two shows, see who took the cake for the week. And I would have to say, I don't know. I would have to say this week for me is a tie, only because both shows kept my attention equally. Both shows had the same kind of excitement, yet, you know, good promos to go with it. Yeah, there were, you know, slight mistakes here and there, but all in all, you know, up and down, they were both really good shows this week. So in my opinion, I'm giving them a tie. If you want to disagree, tell me which show you thought was the best and leave it in the comments. Well, that's all I have for right now. Keep your eyes out for my next video, and I'll see you soon. Like I said, Raw, SmackDown, it's a tie. Don't agree? Well, hit subscribe, give a like. See you guys next time.